Love is a currency. Now, many of us don't know this, but it is very true. Now, I live in South Africa and we make use of South African rands. Now, I could literally sacrifice my last rand, give everything that I have to someone who stays, for example, in the USA, where they're making use of the US dollar. Now, the South African rands are very weak against the US dollar, meaning that even if that person could convert my South African rands to US dollars, the value would no longer be the same. So sometimes we give love and we love people in a certain way and they don't receive it the way that we give it to them, not because we are not doing our best, but because there's a difference in currency, and what we think we're giving is not what they're actually receiving because of that difference in currency. So, in other words, what is important to me is not necessarily important to you, and what is important to you is not necessarily important to me. And where it is important to both of us, it does not mean that it is equally important, because there is a difference in currency. So love, perfectly defined, is understanding or learning your partner to the point where you have identified their currency, you have accepted it, and you have learned how to trade in their currency, so that whatever you give carries the value that you want it to carry to the recipient. Most people will say, but you're talking about love languages. No, a love language, yeah, perhaps, but a love language only covers to a certain extent. For example, where someone gives you money over affection. Now that is a love language, discrepancy. That is where love language comes in. But when we're talking about a currency, we are talking about the entire livelihood. We're talking about standards. We're talking about morals. We're talking about principles. We're talking about priorities. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about currencies. It is the whole thing, the whole package. Whereas a love language is how do you show me your love. But a currency, that's everything. So rather than asking what love language you speak, ask what currency do you trade in, and determine will you be able to trade in that currency or not. Simple as that.